Namaste, Paula here. Welcome to this 1 hour Yin Yoga Lower Body mount. As you take your seated cross-legged position, can you find a steady base? Feel a connection through your sits bones and the ground, the earth below, lengthening up through the spine, rising up through the crown of the head. Get a sense of a connection with the sky, the heavens above. Taking a deep inhale through the nose. And very slowly exhale out the mouth. Letting go, relaxing the body. Taking this time now to allow yourself to arrive on the mat for this practice. To transition from the external world, which is very yang in nature. Letting go of any responsibilities, any stresses, any plans, any doing. And instead, moving into a space of being. Slowing right down. As you breathe in and breathe out, can you slow down the breath, deepen the breath, lengthen the breath? Starting to let go of whatever's come before this moment. Wherever you've been in your day so far. Shifting your gaze inwards. Focusing on your breath, the movement of the breath in the body. And any sensations arising now. Our yin practice is very passive. It's considered more feminine in nature. It's cooling qualities. So just continue to focus on the movement of the breath in the body now as you settle in. Giving yourself permission to slow down. To indulge in just being. Noticing as you inhale, the belly inflates like a balloon. And on the exhale, the navel draws into the back of the spine. The chest rising and falling with each breath. Allowing your thoughts to pass in and out of your mind without getting hooked into any plans or any ruminations. Simply being here with breath and body. And now coming out as we come into our first posture, butterfly pose. You might like to take a cushion under your bottom to help align the spine and to support your ability to fold forward. So in this posture, we're creating more of a diamond shape with our legs, and this will enable us to be able to fold forward. I'm quite open in the backs of the legs, the back of the body, so I can rest my head on a block. You may not be able to do so, that may not be accessible. Perhaps you can use 2 blocks or perhaps a bolster. If you can support your head in some way, it will encourage the body to relax and it will prevent straining the back of the neck as we're holding in this position for a few minutes. With your eyes closed, coming back into your breath, allowing yourself to surrender into an inward-looking space. Feel grounded in this posture. Feeling a stretch from the back of the heels all the way up the back of the legs and across the spine. Allowing the hands of gravity to gently ease your torso down towards the floor as time progresses in this pose. Continue to cultivate a steady breath in and out through the nose. So as well as stretching the backs of the legs here, we're also stretching the spine, releasing tension through the ligaments of the spine. So we're not trying to get the knees to the ground, and it might even be helpful to have a bolster under the knees for support, or blocks under the backs of the knees. Softening the face, relaxing the shoulders, the fingers. Simply being here with your breath and noticing any sensations arising from this posture. In Yin Yoga, we're targeting the deeper tissues of the body, the fascia. So by holding over time and using gravity along with the postures and the breath, we relax the body, allowing ourselves to stay really present with the breath and going deeper. These tissues do not respond to more active, more heating, repetitive movements. They require a cooling, calm, relaxed environment. So just continue to stay and breathe. Breathing into any areas of the body you feel need the most attention in this posture. Wherever you're feeling resistance or sensation, direct your awareness there. Where your awareness will go, your energy will flow. Feel your upper body sinking a little bit further towards the floor with each exhale you take. A gentle gravitational pull towards the earth. Noticing the inhale. Noticing the exhale. Breath and body. Everything else just dissolving into the background. As we just stay for a little bit longer here. Now starting to come out, slowly rolling back up your spine vertebra by vertebra. Take your hands under the backs of the knees. Bend the knees, plant the feet, leaning back, and just windscreen wiper your legs from side to side. And from here, we're going to come down onto our back for our next posture. So just keep the knees bent, feet on the floor, interlace the hands to the back of the head, and take the pinky toes to the edge of the mat. Drop the knees to the left. Take the right leg and lift it up onto the left thigh. If this feels too much on your knee, just drop the knees to the side. Or you can take a bolster to support that top leg. Reach the arm overhead to lengthen the side of the body. And just stay here, allowing the front of the body to drop into the back of the body as we target the outer hip, the thigh, the side of the body in this stretch. Breathe into all this space you're creating in the body. The inhale long and deep. The exhale even longer, slower. Softening where you can soften. The face relaxed. Corners of the eyes, the mouth, the fingers. And now coming out. And we're going to move into a figure of 4 or thread the needle. So again, take the foot across the thigh. This time you can reach the arm through the triangle, take hold of the back of the thigh or maybe the shin if that's accessible for you. And see if you can draw the knee in a little bit closer towards the body. Keep the head on the floor. Breathing into any resistance you're feeling, particularly in the outer hip, the glute, thigh. Coming out and once again take the feet wide on the mat, pinky toes to the edges of the mat. You can start by interlacing the hands to the back of the head. Take the foot on top of the thigh. Both knees drop towards the side. And then extend the arms overhead to increase the stretch down the side of the body. Breathing into the ribs, into the hip. Allowing the front of the body to soften into back of body. Open and receptive to whatever arises, sensations, feelings. Just taking time. Indulging in being here with your breath and with your body. Nowhere else that you need to be right now. Nothing else that you need to be doing. Can you maintain that inward gaze? Really present with your breath. Noticing when you do get distracted. Gently draw your awareness back. Steady breath, steady body, and steady mind. And now very slowly coming out. And again coming into either figure of 4 or thread the needle on the other side. As you breathe, you're gently drawing that knee in a little bit closer, squeezing into the tummy. Noticing the resistance as you breathe. Breathe in and the belly inflates. And as you exhale, releasing any tension you're holding in the belly. Noticing any sensations in the outer glute and hip. Softening a little bit more with each exhale. Nice. And from here, we're going to slowly roll over onto our side and push up. Coming back to sit. And again, you might like to use your cushion to help with that anterior tilt of the hips as we come into a wide-legged straddle pose. So only take the legs as wide as feels comfortable to hold for a few minutes. If you take them too wide and you start to feel the pulling in the inner knee, then you've gone too far. And in this posture, we don't flex our feet. We're not trying to activate into the quadriceps, into the upper legs. So just allow your feet to flop out. And again, we're going to fold forward. For me, I can fold forward over onto a bolster. You might like to create a table by putting 2 blocks under your bolster or incline the bolster. You can stack your fists and rest your head on your fists. And then you're going to lengthen the spine, maintain some roundness in the back as you fold over your prop. Feeling this deep hamstring stretch, the backs of the legs, the inner thighs. Also opening the knees and the groin. Allow the face to relax, the shoulders to soften. And just continue to be present with your breath as you notice the inhale and notice the exhale. The purpose of our yin practice, or one purpose of our yin practice, is the lubrication of the deeper connective tissues and the fascia by using longer holds. This is your time now to create space away from the busyness of your life and from your responsibilities. And instead of indulging in not needing to be anywhere or to do anything except to be here with your breath and your body, simply letting be and letting go. So use this yin medicine to do what it knows how to do naturally, passively, without any force. Yielding to overcome. Allowing softness to overcome hardness. No forcing, just allowing the pose to deepen through time. And if the pose becomes more intense, see if you can find peace with it. Lean into it, breathe into it. But of course, if the length of time that I'm offering for each posture becomes too long for you and the intensity is too much, please come out. But do so intentionally, do it nice and slowly. Continue to allow the upper body to be drawn down towards the floor. Again, we're working with gravity to naturally allow the body to let go, to release that deeper tension. Relaxing as much as we can. Staying for a few more breaths before very slowly starting to roll back up the spine. Move your prop out of the way. Take your hands to the outsides of the knees to help them together. And come to sit in a seated cross-legged position. Just do some releasing of tension through the neck. So with an inhale, the head is neutral. Exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale back through center, right ear to right shoulder. And let's do that again, both sides. Next time you drop your ear to the left, drop your chin to chest and circle through as if it's tracing a necklace around your throat. Changing directions. Nice and slow, and doing that one more time in each direction. And now drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Take your left hand onto the side of the head, and the right arm's just reaching down towards the floor. Or if you like, you can reach that right arm behind for your left hip. If you do so, can you peel the shoulder back and drop the shoulder away from the ear? So we're not pressing the head down with our top hand. It's just the weight of the hand on the head that's creating that stretch in the side of the neck. Then release that bottom arm, help the head back up, and changing sides. And you might like to lift your chin or lower your chin to see if there's a sweet spot for you. Again, if you reach that bottom arm behind you, make sure you're not hunching the shoulder up to the ear. Relax the shoulder away from the ear. Peel it back. Taking a few more breaths here. And now release the bottom arm, help the head back up to neutral, and just take a moment to notice. So from here, we'll come into a half butterfly. If you extend your left leg long and out to the side, bring the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. Bring both of your blocks either side of the extended leg. Lengthen the spine first, folding over the leg. So when you do lengthen the spine, turn your torso to face that extended leg before you come on down. Maybe you can rest your elbows on your blocks, whether they're on the high setting, medium or low. And then again, see if you can support your head to encourage relaxation of the body. Half butterfly provides a really accessible spinal stretch. So notice the sensations you're feeling as you're folding forward. We're targeting the ligaments along the back of the spine, which can become quite tight and tense. And depending on how far you can fold forward, you'll get that massaging effect, which improves digestion, supporting the flow of energy around the internal organs, but also through the channels in the body. Yin Yoga is based on the philosophies of traditional Chinese medicine. So as well as the physical effects from the postures, these postures are also benefiting the flow of energy in the body. This energy is referred to as qi, and qi runs through channels or meridians in the body. So each posture will target specific meridians to support inner balance and our health and well-being. Stay really present and mindful with your breath and with the sensations that you're feeling in this posture as you settle in for a bit longer. Noticing the inhalation, noticing the exhalation. Just taking a couple more breaths before very slowly rolling back up the spine, leaning back. We're simply going to change sides here. So extending the right leg now, left sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Turn to face that extended right leg, lengthen the spine, and then folding forward, supporting your upper body with your props. And then coming back into your breath. Eyes closed to encourage that inward gaze. So fascia, that's the network of tissues that holds everything together in the body. Physically, it's made up of collagen, though 70% of it's actually water. And it hydrates through compressive movement, pumping fluid through the fascial layers, keeping them supple and gliding smoothly to help elasticity in the body or maintain elasticity. Over time, as we age and just through lifestyle factors, this fascia can get a little rigid and it can dry out. And this influences our posture, our movement. So not only are we stretching the tissues, we're also lubricating the tissues. So aware of any sensations, any resistance you're feeling in your body. And breathe into this resistance. The upper body continuing to sink towards the floor, towards the earth. The face relaxed, the shoulders relaxed. Allow this passive practice to support relaxation, not only of the body, but of the mind, to help balance your nervous system. Think stillness and sinking. This practice is about receiving, surrendering. It's a very introspective, receptive practice. And now from here, very slowly coming out, rolling back up the spine. Move your props out of the way, lean back, and extend the legs long in front of you. And just give them a little wobble, an internal, external rotation of the legs. And now we're going to come back onto our backs for a supine twist. We'll use our bolster. So if you'd like to take the bolster lengthways beside your left leg, bend the right knee, take the right knee across the body and allow the bolster to support the lower part of the leg. Keep the left leg nice and long, and you're going to probably need to roll over onto your left hip a little bit, and then can you open the arms out wide like wings from your shoulders. We're keeping our head in a neutral position facing the ceiling. Allowing the front of the body to relax into the back of the body. You might like to focus on the outer hip here, where most often we feel the sensation in this posture. There's also the twist through the spine. Feeling as the breath creates space in the body, but also getting a sense of the breath moistening the tissues as you just settle into the shape. Our reclining twist realigns the spine and gives rise to the potent forces of Kundalini energy, our spiritual energy. This energy moves upwards through the Sushumna, or the spinal column, which is the central column for the flow of energy in the body, according to our yoga philosophy. The twisting of this spine helps to cleanse the digestive organs. Can you notice the flow of prana through the spinal column? Maybe as you hold there, you feel a tingling of energy, a pulsation of your life force. And now, as you continue to hold in this shape, breathing into the space, can you stay a little empty at the bottom of the exhale? So breathing in through the nose, and then exhaling out the nose, just pausing at the bottom of the breath. And stay with that breathing practice for a while. Staying empty for a couple of seconds at the end of each exhalation. Staying for a few more breaths. And now very slowly coming out, and we're just going to change sides. So move the bolster to the other side of the body, beside the right leg, and take your left knee across and allow the leg to be supported by the bolster. Arms open wide from the shoulders like wings, palms up for softness. And again, notice sensations in the outer hip, in that top leg. Noticing also the spine, the twist through the spine. And the squeezing that's created in the lower part of the belly. Allow this posture to improve your spinal flexibility. Also supporting digestion and stimulating the nervous system. So also work with the joints in Yin, and in this posture we're predominantly working with or affecting the spinal joint. So breathing into any sensations, any resistance that you're feeling now. Relax the face, the corners of the eyes. Surrendering to the posture. As I've already mentioned, in Yin Yoga, we work with the energetic body. Our life force, prana, or chi, as it's referred to in Yin Yoga. And this energetic body is intimately connected to our breath and is more subtle than the physical body. But according to the yoga tradition, the more subtle, the more powerfully we can affect deep in our system. So as you hold in this posture, not only focusing on the physical effects, the physical sensation, but also get a sense of how we are affecting the energetic body. Staying for a couple more breaths here. Feel very slowly coming out again. So we're going to come into a reclined shoelace. So if you take your right leg over the top of left, see if you can stack one knee on top of the other. And you might start by just pulling the knees to the chest from that bottom knee. If you can reach out to the ankles or the shins, take the legs out to the sides, almost like little flippers, and see if you can pull the legs towards you, pull the shoulders back towards the floor. Really squeezing into the belly, creating sensation in the outer hips and glutes. And then release and change sides, and the same again, stacking one knee over the other, either just holding on to the knee and drawing in, or taking hold of the outer shins or ankles with the feet out to the sides. And now unraveling, rolling over onto one side and push yourself back up. Coming over now onto your hands and knees, setting up for sleeping swan. We'll bring the right knee forward and out to the side, behind the right wrist. Extend the left leg behind and just check behind you. Check that back leg is nice and long and straight. Square off the hips to the front of the mat before you lower down. You might like to take a bolster and rest your head and your arms on the bolster so you can soften the shoulders. If there's a big gap under that right hip, you might like to put a block or a cushion or another bolster under there for some support. And now as you settle into this posture, can you take a deep inhale through the nose and sigh out the mouth. Softening the jaw, allowing the tongue to rest at the roof of the mouth behind the top teeth. Awareness on the breath and on any sensations that you're noticing now in the body, particularly around the hip area. This posture can create some pretty strong, intense sensations for a lot of people. For many people, the hips are quite problematic. They get really tight and clenched and guarded. They're denser tissues. The hips are considered storing ground not only for emotion but for stress, for tension. And just like the hips, the jaw is also a major stress storing area. And the jaw and hips are part of the body's deep front line, a fascial network that runs from your head down to your feet. And this connective tissue that weaves throughout your muscles and your organs, influencing movement and posture, gets very tight and tense. And if there's tightness or dysfunction in one area, then that is connected, then it will affect the other area. So that's why when we come into these hip opening, releasing postures, it can be really helpful to intentionally relax the jaw. We do that through our deep diaphragmatic breathing. Helpful to take that deep inhale through the nose and a releasing exhale out the mouth. But also being really conscious, noticing if you're holding any tension, checking in. And now we're going to very slowly come out. And from here, we're going to sit. We're just going to bring a little bit of movement into the hips. Take hold of the foot or the ankle and just circle through a few times. And we'll do the other side as well. Then if you're able to, hook the foot in your elbow and nurse your lower leg. Just give it a little bit of a rock, like rocking a baby. And we'll do the other side when we come through again after the second round of Sweeping Swan. So as you're ready, come back onto your hands and knees to set up for the other side, bringing the left knee forward and out to the side of the mat. In front of the left wrist, check that back leg. You might tuck the toes to extend the leg longer and then flatten the foot. Before folding forward onto the bolster, finding a position that will relax your shoulders. And again, taking a deep inhale through the nose, sighing it out the mouth, relaxing the jaw. You can even open and close the mouth a few times, wriggle the jaw side to side before allowing the tongue to rest behind the top teeth at the roof of the mouth. Can you notice the space between your teeth? Coming into stillness for periods of time, as we do in our yin practice, can be very difficult for a lot of people. It's in this stillness and quiet that all the thoughts can come rushing in. So check in, notice where your mind's at now. Are you getting distracted? Are you creating stories, ruminating, planning? And if so, gently guide your awareness back to your breath and your body, just like you would a wayward child. We live in a very seated culture. We sit a lot. And of course this affects the mobility of the hips, the openness of the hips, the tension. The hips are already also affected by weak knees. So it's very important to do these postures that support better mobility. Because better mobility in the hips and openness in the hips improves the circulation, the flow of oxygen and of blood. So very slowly now starting to come out. And again, we'll bring some movement into the hips, some circling both sides before cradling the baby, if that's accessible for you. So the next posture, dragon. It's quite a strong stretch in the hip flexor particularly. You might like to take a cushion under the back of the knee if your floor is a little bit hard like mine is. And you're taking the foot on the right leg, I should say, right out to the side, to the edge of the mat, and then bring the blocks inside. You might have the blocks up high and just stay up high if that's enough for you. You can keep the back foot flexed or the toes tucked. Dragon is a practice in mindfulness because often after a while, after we've stayed, it can get quite intense. So we'll start to create stories. It'll affect our breathing. So being really present with your breath and what's going on with your thinking is really important. So after you've stayed for a while, you might like to come down lower. You can come onto your forearms, onto the block. Otherwise, just stay where you are. You can also come all the way down onto the mat. Keep the spine elongated, just looking forward at the mat. Leaning into any sensations you're feeling. Breathing into the intensity. But of course, if we stay too long and you're finding it really difficult to stay focused because of intense sensation, then please come out, but do it slowly and intentionally. So just for the last minute, let's create a winged dragon. So curl the toes on the right foot, flexing the foot, drop the knee out to the side and gently press the knee away as you turn to look over your right shoulder. Rolling over onto your left hip just a little bit. And then very slowly coming out, moving through a half runner's lunge to then come back to a child's pose. Allow the bottom to rest on the heels if you can, or take a cushion under your bottom. Knees can be as wide as you like here. I like to lie on the bolster, just turning my head to one side. Child's pose is considered the cornerstone rest pose in yoga. It invites us to turn inwards, to withdraw our senses. Our senses turning inwards for nourishment. Allow the external world to just dissolve. And feel the breath in the belly and the ribs in the back of the body here. As you allow the bolster to take your weight, feel supported by the bolster. Resting in the energy of your practice right now. And staying here for a little bit longer. Breath and body. And as you're ready, very slowly coming out, and we'll move into our dragon posture on the other side. So again, using the cushion as you need under the right knee this time. Take your blocks. It's always a good rule for more intense postures such as dragon to take a more conservative approach in the beginning. So perhaps starting up a little bit higher. Allow the body to release and soften before you come deeper. Maintain your awareness on your breath and your body. And some of these postures, when they do get a little bit intense, it can just feel like we want to run, we want to just get out. It's a good practice to try and breathe through this sensation, this feeling. The breath is always there to support us. And as you did before, or if you did before, you might like to come down lower now, or not. Remember, as always, this is your practice. I'm simply here to guide you. So really listen to your body. Ensure that you do give yourself what you need. That's the beauty of a yin yoga practice. It gives us the time. We slow right down so we can really listen and respond to what our body's saying to us. So now for the last minute, we'll take winged dragon. So curl the toes on your left foot. So toes are flexed. Drop the knee out to the side, gently resting your arm on your leg, perhaps turning over your shoulder. Now coming out and coming back again into child's pose. So if you prefer for this second child's pose, you can take an embryo pose. So instead of lying on the bolster and taking the knees wide, you can always bring the knees together and curl into a little ball. Bring your arms back by your sides. And as we stay here, let's tune into the 4 parts of the breath. So as you inhale, can you pause at the top of the breath before exhaling and noticing the pause at the bottom of the breath? Inhaling and pausing. Exhaling and pausing. And allow this intimate focus on your breath to take you even deeper. Feel the breath in the belly, The ribs expanding and contracting, the lower back. Staying for a little bit longer. And staying now for a few more breaths. Before very slowly rolling back up the spine. So now we're going to take our bolster and incline the bolster. Perhaps the top block is on the medium edge and the second block's on the lower edge, just to lift up. I'm going to take half saddle. Now, if you've got knee issues, be very careful here. Perhaps you can't lie back. But if it feels okay to bend that right leg, have the heel beside your right hip and the left leg extended. And then as you start to lie back, if that right knee doesn't lift off the ground, then you should be okay. You can always prop your bolster up a little bit higher if you need. You can also add a cushion under the right knee. But if it just doesn't feel right, you're feeling too much pulling, some strain in that right knee, then don't come all the way down. Perhaps just lean back on your hands a little bit and keep the spine fairly upright. If this posture is accessible for you, it can be really relaxing for the mind. We're stretching the hip flexor and the quadriceps. And there's a really good internal rotation of the hip. This is a great posture if you do a lot of standing or walking, a lot of other sports or activities, physical activities. Allow the bolster to support your body and just breathe. Now we'll very slowly come back out. You might like to take your hand around the right knee and help that leg to extend. Reset. This time bending the left leg, bring the heel beside that left hip before lying back down. And if you don't want to have your arms by the sides, palms up, you can always take your arms overhead, even hook the elbows to feel more of a stretch around the chest as well. You might notice also a gentle back bend. So this will be our last posture before we come into Shavasana. So you might like to notice how physically your body's feeling now that we've taken time to release some of the deeper tension particularly in the lower body. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit more balanced, more connected to your breath and to your body, more relaxed in the mind. Yin Yoga is a very healing practice. We've softened, we've opened up the body, and we've let go. We've created more juiciness in the body, in the tissues. And now very slowly coming out. And before we come into Shavasana, we're just going to hang out in a happy baby for about a minute. I like to just take the bolster under my bottom just to lift up a little bit and take hold of the inner blades of my feet. And instead of having to pull the feet down towards the floor, you're just hooking your hands over the feet and allowing the shoulders to drop towards the mat and let gravity do its work so that the knees draw towards the outside of the body, towards the armpits. And then from there, we're setting up in Shavasana, bolster under the backs of the knees, cushion under the back of the head. Allowing the body to be breathed without any effort at all. Feeling our body alive with energy. And you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. We really don't need a long Shavasana given that we're already cool and relaxed. But it's a nice way to finish off. And sometimes after a Yin Yoga practice, it can be really hard to want to come out and return to the busyness of the external world. So I'm just going to leave you now in stillness and in silence. Thank you for practicing today. I hope you enjoyed this Yin Yoga 1 hour lower body mount practice. I'd love to hear how you enjoyed it. Or maybe you didn't. Namaste.